So picture this. Someone hands you a tool, a new AI, that could make your super complex job way easier, faster, and more accurate. And you look at it and say, nah, I'm good. Sounds a little strange, right? But this is a real puzzle happening in highly skilled fields today. We're going to unpack why the very people AI is designed to help are often the ones who hesitate the most. I mean, it just doesn't seem to make sense, especially in a field like financial auditing, where everything is about precision and efficiency. You'd think they would be lining up for this stuff. But as we're about to find out, the decision to trust an AI with that much responsibility is, well, it's a lot more complicated than you might think. And the potential for AI in auditing is just huge. We're talking about automating all the boring, repetitive work, spotting fraud patterns that a human eye might totally miss, and crunching massive data sets in the blink of an eye. This isn't just a minor upgrade. It's a game changer for the whole profession, which, makes that resistance even more fascinating. But here's the catch. AI isn't just another app on your computer. It's complex, it can learn on its own, and frankly, it just feels different from the tools we're used to. And because of that, all the old ways we had of predicting if people would use a new technology, they just don't really cut it here. We need a totally new way of looking at this problem.
So, to figure this out, researchers went straight to the source. They talked to 153 certified external auditors in Jordan to really get to the heart of what's going on in their heads when they're faced with bringing AI into their day-to-day work.
And the tool they use to crack this case is a framework called the AI Device Use Acceptance Model. We'll just call it AIDUA. Think of it like a psychological roadmap that shows us the exact journey a person takes when they're deciding whether to say yes or no to a new AI.
The AIDUA model basically breaks this whole journey down into 3 clear stages. It all starts with our first impression, that gut reaction. Then we move into a deeper, more thoughtful evaluation. And it all ends, of course, with the final decision. Okay, let's get into it.
So, it all kicks off with first impressions. And this stage isn't about logic at all. It's about those immediate, subconscious, gut-level feelings that pop up the second we hear about a new AI tool. So what shapes that first impression? The researchers found it boils down to 3 main things. First up is social influence. What's my team going to think if I start using this? Then there's hedonic motivation, which is basically a fancy way of asking, is this thing kind of fun or cool to use? And finally, there's anthropomorphism. Does this AI feel a little too human? Like, is it kind of creeping me out?
Okay, so after that initial gut check, our brains switch gears and get a little more deliberate. We move into this phase of mental calculation, where an auditor actually starts to weigh the pros and cons of using the AI.
And really, this whole stage is just an internal debate, a tug-of-war between 2 big questions. On one side, you've got performance expectation. Is this thing actually going to help me do my job better? And on the other side, you've got effort expectation. How much of a pain is this going to be to learn? It's your classic cost-benefit analysis happening right inside your head.
Now here's where it gets really fascinating. Those first impressions from stage 1, they don't just go away. They actually leak into and influence this logical calculation. The study confirmed it. If your colleagues think the AI is cool, you're more likely to believe it'll work well. Same goes if it seems fun to use. And if the AI felt too human and creepy, that directly made auditors think it would be a bigger hassle to learn.
But all that mental math, weighing the pros and cons, that's not the end of the story. That whole internal debate leads to a critical tipping point, and it has everything to do with emotion.
This is the absolute pivot in the whole process. All that logical evaluation ends up sparking a real, genuine emotional response. And this is the moment where the decision starts to swing, driven less by spreadsheets and more by straight-up feeling.
And that emotional response can really go one of 2 ways. If you think the benefits are going to be worth the effort, you start to feel positive emotions, things like excitement, anticipation, maybe even delight. But if that effort seems way too high or the benefits just aren't clear, it triggers negative feelings, anxiety, frustration, maybe even a little bit of fear. And that emotional state, whether it's positive or negative, leads us directly to the final stage of this whole model, the outcome. This is the moment of truth, where the auditor finally decides, am I in or am I out? And listen to this, because this is the core finding of the entire study. After all this social stuff and the logical debates, the single biggest thing that predicted an auditor's final choice was their emotional state. More than anything else, how they felt about the AI is what drove their decision.
The data on this was crystal clear. Feeling good about the AI was strongly linked to being willing to use it.
And no surprise here, feeling bad about it was just as strongly linked to rejecting it. It turns out our feelings are the final gatekeeper for whether we adopt new AI.
But hold on, because there is one final twist to this story. The researchers found this kind of hidden factor that can supercharge the whole process. And it helps explain why two different people, looking at the exact same AI, can walk away with totally different opinions.
See, this last factor is a personal trait. It's something that everyone brings with them before they even see the new tech, and it has the power to make that emotional reaction way, way stronger.
It's called technology readiness. And it's basically your own personal, built-in attitude toward new tech. Are you the kind of person who's generally optimistic and loves trying new things? Or do new gadgets and software kind of make you feel uncomfortable or insecure? That personal mindset is the secret ingredient here.
And here's how it all plays out. The study found that for auditors who already had high technology readiness, a positive feeling about the AI had a much, much stronger effect on their decision to use it. Their natural optimism basically acted like an amplifier, turning a good feeling into an absolute yes.
So you can think of it like this. An auditor's personal comfort level with tech is like a volume knob. It can be the one thing that turns a quiet, maybe, into a loud and confident, let's do this.
So let's wrap this all up. Deciding to use a new AI isn't just a simple logical choice. It is a deeply human journey. It starts with our gut feelings about what others will think and whether it seems cool or creepy. Those feelings then influence our more rational cost-benefit analysis. That analysis then sparks a powerful emotional reaction, which is the real driver of our choice. And finally, our own personal comfort with tech can turn up the volume on that feeling, sealing the deal.
And all of this leaves us with a really big final question. We just looked at auditors, a profession that's built on objectivity and logic. If their decisions about new tools are so heavily swayed by gut feelings, emotions, and personal biases, it really makes you wonder, what other objective decisions in our professional lives are a lot less rational than we like to think?